Let me show you the relationship between Narendra and Latu. You see, Latu had difficulty in pronouncing the word no from Bihar. So he would pronounce it lo. So he would call, Narendra was called Noren in Bengal. So he said Loren. He couldn't do Noren. So Loren. And so Loren and Latu became very close friends. Both at the extreme ends of the spectrum of intellect. Complete extreme. And became the best of friends. So they would kind of thump each other back and everything. Tremendous closeness between these two extremes. But one day there was a fight between them as well. I'll tell you how. It's interesting to watch this kind of interaction between different disciples. You see, Ramakrishna was so drawn to Naren or Loren in terms of that he needed to see him from time to time. I'm going to do the story of Naren in a minute, but this I must bring in a bit in advance. If Naren doesn't come to visit Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna goes to visit Naren. He can't live without him. Tremendous attraction toward Narendra, Vivekananda. So one Vivekananda was studying for his exams at university, sitting for his degree exams, and he's studying, and he's upstairs in the upstairs room, and suddenly he hears a commotion, some noise. Ramakrishna had taken his Latu to come and visit Narendra. And then he is trying to climb up the steps in his kind of God intoxicated state. He's trying to climb up. And as soon as Narendra comes out of the door, opens the door and looks down, Ramakrishna looks at and went into Samadhi there, in the middle of the steps. Standard stuff. He went into Samadhi halfway up the steps. And Latu is hanging on to him. And thus he toppled over. He's hanging on to him. And Narendra speaks English and says, idiot, comes and makes a mess here. He's calling Ramakrishna idiot. And this Latu doesn't understand English. He said, what does idiot mean? If it means something rude, I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to beat Then he said, no, it means something very good. Don't worry. Let's pull this old man in before he topples over. But this was the love and relation between this Naren and this Latu. Both at different extreme. One intellectual giant, other one couldn't bother. What did you call him? What did you call Ramakrishna? Tell me, I'm going to beat you up. That relation. This is Latu and this is Narendra. This Latu, he spent his last days in Kashi, and lots of pandits, lots of great devotees would crowd around him. And he spent his days dishing out the spirituality that his master had given him. The lovely material, the most kind of modern vision of spirituality came out of his mouth. When you look at his teachings, it is thrilling. It is without any guilt. There is no guilt. It's very blunt, very raw, and very direct. One person said, I keep getting lustful thoughts. What should I do? He said, look, I tell you what. See this image? Just focus your mind on this image. It will all disappear. This is the most potent image. It will remove it for you. He would give a blunt example. He would give talk like that, very bluntly. In the final days, some of the senior Swamis of the Ramakrishna mission would come and visit him in Kashi and reverentially touch his feet. Somebody said, but you are a senior Swami. He is a junior. He does not even belong to the Ramakrishna. He lives separately. Why do you touch his feet? And the Swami was very humble. He said, do you know why? He's younger than me in age. He's younger than me in terms of the authority of the Ramakrishna order. But he's the most senior of us because he's the first one to become the disciple of Ramakrishna. He's the most senior of all of us because he's the first disciple of Ramakrishna. That's why we touch his feet. He lived in this majestic state, couldn't be bothered about anything. Many years he lived, do you know with what? His other possession that he had in later life, apart from this towel, was a teapot. Boil tea, drink tea, that's it, live on it. I'm not saying that the rest of us should follow, it's very difficult. He lived so simply and yet lived so magically. That is why he's the miracle of Ramakrishna.